Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sapnewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by on the channel. Just a quick little live stream for tonight because a big announcement. I missed it earlier today. The Terrarium launch has now been moved. It's tomorrow, so February 21st, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, don't make the mistake that some people made when they were doing the Lily launch. You have to get the contract address. Don't simply type in Terra into Uniswap. Now my cat, I'm sure you guys can hear her. You know what? That's what the denoise button is for. Hold on a second. And there we go. Hopefully you won't be able to hear her. So, yep, it was moved. I actually released a video earlier today saying that the launch is going to be on the 22nd. So, I wanted to come on live just to let you guys know if you're interested in buying in. It's tomorrow. It's like 7.5 hours away. I'm going to have to set my alarm to get up early to participate in the launch. They do have the contract address directly on their Twitter page. So, go on over to their Twitter. Make sure you grab that contract address. You don't want to, get honeypotted like they did to a lot of people with Lily Finance. Hi, honey, I'm making a video. Be a good girl. Sorry, guys. So make sure that you get the correct address. That's what it says on their Twitter. Yep. I don't know when they released it, but I've been watching everyone's YouTube channel today. I've been watching Sandstorm, Rodney's channel, Teddy's channel. I've just been busy. And apparently I missed the big news on Twitter. So tomorrow morning, I am going to definitely set an alarm because I want to participate in this launch. I definitely want to get into Terrarium because I think it's got a very bright future. I think there's a lot of intelligent men that are advisors in this and that are running this token. So it's actually very exciting. If you go to their website, it looks incredible. Everything that they're going to do, the app looks really great. It looks like it's really going to be nice, easy, and simple. And as I said earlier in my video, that's what we need in crypto. We need a platform or an app that's very easy for people to navigate. One of the big reasons why a lot of people stay out of crypto, it's because it's so confusing. Have you ever opened the Gate.io app? It's crazy. If you're looking at it, there's just stuff all around it. It can be too much for some people. They would open that up and be like, "Oh no, I can't do this," and then they would leave. I think if you have something that is very simple and very easy to fund, people will get more people into cryptocurrency that way. Yes, it's definitely been moved. It's tomorrow morning, so February 21st at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to participate, again, their contract address is listed right on their Twitter. Go on over to their Twitter, follow them. This way you get all of the updates. Although I followed them and kind of was MIA a little bit from Twitter. Sometimes you have to take a break from Twitter, especially me. I have the wolf pack constantly after me you know, uh, harassing me, but that's okay. I'm a big girl. I can take it. I absolutely am going to participate in this. It's going to be on Uniswap, so I plan on purchasing it through my MetaMask, and I'm looking very forward to owning some Terrarium tokens. Yeah, I think there's a lot of smart guys in there, and one of the big investors, Dr. Pravin, he had previously had a very large holding in Saitama. He's still in Saitama. He still has a lot of money over there, but he stayed in Saitama from the time that it was at an all-time high until just recently. He took out some of his holdings from Saitama. So, the all-time high, he said he had like $70 million in there, and he rode that down and he didn't pull out his investment. He's stuck in there. So he says he's definitely gonna be sticking in this one. I think he said, like, 7 years on their AMA that they did on Saturday on Twitter. It sounds like he's really dedicated and devoted, so hopefully, I think this is gonna be really good, and I'm very excited to get into it. I just wanted to get on live to let everyone know because I'm gonna have to wind up changing my thumbnail for the other video because I think I even put on the thumbnail, "Hey, the launch is the 22nd." I don't know exactly when they changed it, but I'm glad I went on to Telegram. That's how I found out. I had to communicate with someone through Telegram, and I figured, while I'm in Telegram, let me jump on over to the Terrarium and see what everyone is talking about over there. And they have one of the bots there, and it says, "Click to see the countdown for the launch." And I was like, "Oh, how exciting. I love a countdown." I clicked it, and it's like, "Yeah, 8 hours. The launch is in 8 hours." I'm like, "What? The launch is in 8 hours? No, it's like it's the 22nd. How is this?" Then I'm thinking, "This is wrong." But no, they changed it. So I wanted to come on live to let everyone know. Make sure you go over to their Twitter to get the correct contract address. And I figured, while I'm on here, let's talk a little bit about the market because I know it's been blood red. Everything was red. Everything was blood red today. But you guys know I love a red candle. So I did a lot of shopping today, especially on crypto.com. The Chronos, well, now they changed it from the Crow to Chronos. Loaded up on that because that went down to 41 cents. I loaded up on Gala. I loaded up on Harmony One, a smaller token that I've actually just recently started to dip my toe into. And why not? Because it's so cheap. Smooth Love Potion. I own some Axing Infinity, so why not own some Smooth Love Potion as well? And as we know, that's what you need to be involved and grow characters that, well, I shouldn't talk too much about it because I'm not a gamer, so I'm not hip to all the lingo that the gamers use, but I know that you need that particular token to play inside of Axie Infinity. So I dipped my toe into the water of Smooth Love Potion when it was less than a penny. I started buying in, and now I think it's like over 2 cents. I should have bought more, but you never know. It was just like a constant way down. And, when you're initially buying into a token, you're always thinking to yourself, okay, um, how do I know where the bottom is? How do I know if this is the lowest it's going to be? How do I know when to get into? And the answer is like, really, you don't know. You don't know. You can look at areas of support, but when it's broken through the lowest area of support, now you kind of just, got to go with your gut feeling and see where that takes you. And my advice, what you should do whenever you're buying into a token, never spend your entire bag all at once. So let's say if I had 250 bucks to buy into Smooth Love Potion, I would inch in there with 25 bucks. I would let it sit for a couple days, look at it, see if it's up or if it's down. The next down day, the next dip, I would buy in again with another 25. I never spend everything all up front because there's always the chance that it's going to go even lower. And if you could buy that coin or token at a reduced price, dollar average in, that's the best thing to do. So that's what I recommend you do with this blood red market. Anything that you feel like you missed out on, because think about it, the crypto.com token or coin, that actually got up to almost a dollar at one point. That's when they announced that they were renaming the Staples Center out in LA, and that thing skyrocketed in just a day. I had been buying into it's going to take such a long time to get used to calling it Chronos. I had been buying in since I think it was like at 18 cents the first time that I started to buy into Chronos. So I even right now, I'm profitable, but I have been buying in every single week. That's the best way to do it. Little bits here and there. Never overextend yourself. Never buy anything more than what you're okay to lose. You just never know. Look at this market. I really thought that by February, the market would sort of correct itself and start to go back up because the market's a cycle, right? Last January, the market was blood red. In February, it came roaring back, so I expected it to come roaring back this February, but unfortunately, it didn't. But there's a lot going on in the world right now. Like, there's a possibility we're gonna be at war soon with Russia over in Ukraine. And whenever there's rumors of war, hints of war, people get very uneasy, and that causes uncertainty in all of the markets. The supply chain has been broken. That's another reason why everything is just down. People have fears of inflation. Although we were very due for a correction there because, they're saying, oh, inflation hasn't been this bad for the past 40 years. But nothing has been corrected when it comes to the economy. So we were due for inflation, especially because of, you know, uh, the flu, not the flu, the coronavirus hitting everything and shaking up the entire economy, not just of the United States, but globally. It fractured the supply chain. So we really were due for a little bit of a correction when it came to our monetary system. and how we need to get away from just printing money nonstop. I mean, that's all we've been doing is ever since we got away from the gold standard, we've just been printing that money. And it's a shame because, this is what happens. Whenever you're printing the money limitlessly, of course it's going to cause inflation. But the only thing that you can help is the money that they're printing, you hope it gets into the right hands. The hands of the people that number one, that need it the most, and number two, that are going to spend it and get it back into the economy so that it can circulate. Money going into the hands of billionaires, it's not really going to help because the number one thing that they're gonna do is invest it. They're gonna put it in the market, there it's going to sit. They're not gonna run out and buy a new wardrobe, they do that anyway. If a rich person gets an extra 10 or 20 grand, it's not like they're like, "Oh, what am I gonna do with my extra 10?" That's nothing to them. Them getting any kind of extra money, that's not going to stimulate the economy. It's people that are middle class and people who are lower to middle class. They're the ones that as soon as they get extra money, they buy it, they spend it, they circulate it throughout the economy and the country, and that's exactly what you need. So, yep, relaunch tomorrow. February 21st, I have to get the 22nd out of my head. February 21st, 6:30 AM. Get that contract address directly from the Twitter. You don't wanna mess up and just type in Terra because I already know there's gonna be, like, 10 tokens right now are being minted with that same exact name. You can name a token anything you want. The only thing that's going to differentiate your token from the real token is going to be the contract address. So make sure you get in the right contract address. And let me just take a peek at some of my comments. Yeah, you're live. Yep, I had to because unfortunately, Michelle, I released a video today saying that the Terra launch is going to be not tomorrow, but the next day on the 22nd. And I just recently found out that it's going to be tomorrow. So I felt like I really needed to go live. Number one, I have to change that thumbnail. I have to make a thumbnail for this. I literally just jumped on to let everyone know that they're changing the launch. And now it's going to be in 15 minutes, it's going to be 7 hours and Terra goes live. I am very excited for this particular token. I think it's going to be huge. It's going to be really big. That the example that they put out of what their platform is going to look like, their app, it looks just so nice and clean and simple and easy to navigate through. And that's what we need. We need something that's very simplistic, something that's very welcoming for the rest of the people to start to get into crypto. Because if you open the other apps, it's I had to start my brother's cryptocurrency account because he just didn't crypto.com through him. And I think crypto.com is one of the easiest ones to use. And he's like, I can't. He threw his hands up and is like, nope, I don't want to do it. He was annoyed with it. I'm like, okay, let me do it. So I had to open up his account so that he could get into cryptocurrency. So if we get something that's just a little easier, I think that's better for everyone. It's going to be better for us because the more people that are into it, the more money that's flush into it, the price of everything is going to go up. More investors means more money. So we'll all definitely profit from that. And I'm just checking I don't have any moderators officially, so I have to look down at my comments. You know what? I'm really surprised the wolf pack is not in here harassing me. My live stream that I did last week with Project Phoenix, they were in here like, "Oh, you're handling that dev with kid gloves." Yeah, it's because I already know them. I've already done a lot of the research on Project Phoenix, and I know it's a legit token. I know it's a really good project, so there really was no reason for me to lay the dev out on a bed of nails and put the screws to them. You know what? I know what they are. I know what they're about. I know they're working hard, and I know they're going to be successful. Listening to this space made me an investor. Awesome. It's so important whenever you're thinking about investing into something, get onto everything. Get onto Twitter, get onto YouTube, get like a little circle of friends going. People that you trust, people that you can bounce ideas off of, ask them what they think about this particular token or coin. It's so hard if you're trying to do it alone. So I absolutely recommend make yourself like a nice tight little circle. Everybody bounces ideas off of one another. Someone can help you and say, "Oh, bad idea, that one. Ooh, got a bad feeling. Maybe you should stay away from that one." That's what you need. And don't necessarily just trust people that are on Twitter that you don't know because, but people could have ulterior motives. You don't know why they're pumping one particular token. Maybe they're friends with the devs, maybe they are a dev and you just don't know it. So it's important to build relationships with people that you feel like you can trust. Obviously, it's going to be hard to find anyone that probably lives next door to you to have like in your crypto circle because so many people are just not into crypto. It's easier to find someone on Twitter or Instagram or some of the other social media platforms like Telegram, but I definitely recommend that. So yeah, I have a little group: Rodney, Sandstorm, Teddy Ganja, Jason Kame. They're all my people. They're all my peeps. As a matter of fact, I we have like a little group on Twitter, little group chat. Be good, honey. My cat's freaking out. And I just told them earlier, I'm like, did you guys know that the launch it's been moved? It's been moved? And Jason's like, no, I had no idea. So if someone doesn't know, someone will and notify the rest of everyone. You know, it's a good idea. Set your alarm if you're interested, because I think everyone that's in our circle is getting into it. I know definitely Rodney was part of the pre sale. I'm jealous because I didn't get into the pre sale, but now I'm definitely going to get into the launch. And normally, yeah, Rodney from Crypto Journeys. No, hold on, that's not right. Yes, my crypto journey. And Sandstorm, of course, Brad. And I always forget Crypto Realist. I always forget Jeremy's handle on YouTube. I always just want to call him Jeremy. But yep, they're my Dejan friends. And we bounce. Well, anyway, Rodney got into the pre sale. Brad didn't get into the pre sale. I don't know about Jeremy. I don't think. Um, I don't think Jason did either. And I think Teddy is going to be a part of the launch as well. So we're all very bullish on Terra. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that for Jeremy. I'm not 100% sure if he's bullish on Terra. I definitely am. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch my video, but I made a review of the token. And I felt like I had to say, listen, not a sponsored video because everyone accuses me of shilling tokens that I've been paid to shill. And once again, I'll say if I'm ever paid to review a token or a coin, I always put it out there. I say it right up front. I've been paid to make this. It's a sponsored video. Yay me. I'm getting some money. I always let you know. But with this particular one, because, it's so controversial with the whole wolf pack going after it, I felt like I really had to say it's not a sponsored video because I know that's the first thing that they're going to say, that I got paid to make that video. And I didn't. I'm just legit very interested in this particular token. I really like the white papers. I like the website. I liked listening to the AMA. I liked everything that all of those devs had to say. And I really appreciated the fact that Dr. Pravin was honest about his 108 wallets. Although, when you think about it, how could he not be honest? Like the wolf pack threw him under the bus. They knew his wallet address and they've been tracking all of his movements because of the wallet address. I think that was a dirty thing for them to do because apparently when the price of Saitama was going down, 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 they said to him, "It must be you. You're one of the top wallets. You must be dumping." So he showed them his wallet to prove, "No, I'm not doing the dumping. I don't know who's doing the dumping, but I'm in the wolf pack. I'm in Saitama. I haven't sold any of my position. Here, I'll prove it to you." And he gave them his wallet address. So now that they had his wallet address, they're using it against him. They tracked all of his movements and they saw that he was the one that put in all of those different wallets into Terra. But I am very bullish on Terra and I have to set an alarm because normally I have to admit I'm up very late. I don't go to bed until like 2:30 or 3. And so I get up much later, but now I have to get up super early. I want to make sure that I'm pumped and ready for the Terra launch. So I just wanted to come on live to let everyone know because my video earlier, I said it's the 22nd, and I just found out not too long ago that indeed it's the 20. Oh no, my camera went out again. By the grace of God, I hit the button and it came back on. Wouldn't you know, my other live stream, it went out like that and I couldn't get it back. Thank God my friend Adam Shelton came in. He was Or else it would have just been this poor dev sitting there, him and a black screen. He would have been freaked out because he's super shy. Thank God, just as it happened, Adam Shelton popped in to save the day. I was like, "Oh, Adam, God bless you," because got no camera. But, yep, the comments are going by pretty fast. So, when did I buy Saitama? I bought Saitama the day that it was launched on Bitmart. So, I think it was probably about 10 days. No, maybe a couple of weeks before what was supposed to be the Saitamask launch in Las Vegas. So I didn't buy in at the tippy top. I was profitable right there. And there was a part of me that was like, oh, I should take some profits, but it wasn't, I don't have a ginormous bag of it. I like, when it was at the all-time high, maybe I had over just, like, $1,000, and I was like, "I'm gonna leave it in there because I think that this token is gonna go way higher." It might have some dips or whatever, but I think that in the long run, it's really gonna pay off if I just leave it in there, and we all know how that story went. So, no need to dwell on that. I have since taken profits from Saitama. I Whenever it spikes, I take profits and then I buy back when it dips down. So, yes, I recently just did purchase some more when it dipped down to 16. How could you not? Because I think that with the steam of the wolf pack, it's definitely at some point or another, at least going to go back up to 25 or 30 at minimum, at minimum. So there's profits to be had with Saitama. And yes, I do have a few different wallets. I have some on gate.io and I also have some sitting in my MetaMask. But what I have in my MetaMask is considered a dust wallet because what I have in there is not even enough to cover gas fees to sell it at this point. So I'm just going to leave that in there. Now, when I transferred it over into there, it was a few $100, and I think now last time I looked at it, I think it was like $89 or a very, very low amount, and the reason that I transferred it over in there was because I'm like, "Okay, well, at least the price is so low, let me catch some reflections," and really it's hardly any reflections at all, but that's because I only have, I think, like 6 or 7 billion in there, so not a lot at all. I used to be really active on Telegram and Discord, getting whitelisted, trying to get into pre-sales. It's almost become a job itself. I hear you. It just seems like every day there are so many new tokens that are hitting the market. How do you know which one is good? How do you know which one to trust? This is why I'm so bullish on Terra because I listened to that AMA on Saturday and everything they said, it just sounds so enticing. All of them sound really intelligent. It sounds like this is not something that they just threw together. This is a well thought out token, and I think it's going to be executed very well. All of these guys, they're businessmen. A lot of them are doctors. I think there's more doctors in Terra than there is in Lily Finance. Like, how crazy is that? So these guys are smart. They're not stupid. They're smart. And I think that, they're looking to build something real. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to get in there at, but I definitely want to get in there. So I'm going to be a part of that launch. David Johnson says you should have waited until it gets to 10 or when it adds a zero. You know what? I don't know if it's going to get that low. I mean, who knows what the future will bring, but I think in the immediate future, it's not going to go that low because of SataMask being due to launch and Sata Realty and with the burning and everything. And one thing I know for sure, just when you start to count Saitama out, the wolf pack will do something to bring it up, or they'll somehow, pump news that something's going to happen, and that will pump the price. Now, I may not believe anything that they say. Like when people honestly believed that they were going to be launched on Binance a couple of weeks ago, I knew it was just an interview, but a lot of people ran away with that. And that's when I dumped my tokens. When it got all the way back up to 30 again, I dumped my position. It wasn't a lot. I only had, I don't know what I had. It was probably like only 5 or 6 billion, but I dumped it. And then inevitably, when the interview fell through, the price came tumbling back down again. So I used all of that money to buy back in. So what had happened? I doubled my position for the same amount of money. Now I have double my position in Saitama, which is not a lot. I think it's like 20 billion, just to be honest, because I'm very open about what I have in Saitama, especially Saitama, because people accuse me of not having any. I do. I have it on Gate.io, in a MetaMask, and also on Bitmart, which is where I initially bought in. Billy Nye, the Nazi spy? I don't trust that dev that has 100 wallets plus. That's a huge red flag, and it's in everyone's eyes. Here's the thing. They had the reason you understand that the reason that he has so many wallets is because when they were doing the pre-sale, there was a minimum buy-in of a half an ETH and a maximum buy-in, and I think it was 10 ETH. And he wanted to put his millions and millions of dollars into Terra because he's one of the advisors. He knows how big it's going to be. So and how do you stop people? It's There's no way to regulate. Right now, it's not regulated. So he can have as many wallets as he wants. And who's going to know? The only reason it got found out was because people like Faltron were sniffing around to find out exactly what happened there. They were tracking his wallet when he decided to sell a lot of his Saitama. But, it doesn't bother me that he has 108 wallets because I think he's in it for the long run. And once again, this is not financial advice. This is just how I'm going to be handling my personal investment. I trust well, obviously, I don't completely trust anybody because how can you? You don't really know anybody. But from the way that they were speaking in the AMA, they gained my trust as an investor. Now, I'm not saying that I would put my life in this dude's hands, although technically maybe I would because he's a doctor. So, maybe one day if I fall out and I pass out and he's there, I'd prefer he resuscitate me type of thing because he's a doctor. But he gained my trust. I looked through the website. I read the entire website. I read the entire white papers, and I think it's a good, solid project. I'm super pumped for it. Right now, the countdown, 7 hours away. 7 hours and 2 minutes will be the launch of Terra Token, and I am psyched. Moham says, "Hey, what's the best slippage when buying during a launch?" So you guys know that during the Lily Finance's launch, they were suggesting to people to set the slippage to 50. 50, like, that sounds crazy to me. 50 sounds like too much. Crazy. But I don't know, like, if I definitely want to get in, I guess maybe I could do 50 for this one. This particular launch, this will be the second launch that I've been involved in. The first one, for me, it was a bloodbath, like, by the time my sale finally went through, I bought, like, way high up, but that's the thing, you have no control where you're buying in. You just have to place your buy order. You say, "Okay, I wanna buy my ETH or 2 ETH," or whatever it is you're buying in at, and you just have to let the token gods, let the token chips fall where they may, and then finally, when it goes through, you just look at your position and see, "Okay, how many billions did I get for this money?" We just don't know. So, I guess to answer your question, I don't really know. I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, have my coffee, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I will set it to 50 because I definitely do wanna get in. Johnny FOMO says, "I hold Saitama. They've been dishonest in my opinion. Hodling, but not too optimistic." I think that's the general sentiment when it comes to Saitama. They've let a lot of people down, especially people that have been in Saitama from the very beginning, if not shortly before the launch when it hit an all-time high, because it was pumped up to be something absolutely tremendous and amazing and just game-changing. That's why I bought into it. I thought it was going to be this game-changing thing, and they keep missing deadlines and benchmarks. I get it. I listen, I'm not saying coding is easy. I'm not. I know it's not easy. I respect anyone who's able to code. I think there's probably nothing more difficult than having to do that. But they imposed these deadlines on themselves. I just refuse to believe that there was not some way that they could have beta tested the SATA mask before they launched it. That's just my own personal thing, personal. Billy Nye, he's going to dump on us. Are you the one that said about the 108 wallet guy? Is that you? He could. I mean, let's be honest. It could be a situation like what happened with the Shibnobi early sellers that they get their tokens airdropped to them. And they're supposed to have, initially it was a gentleman's agreement that they wouldn't do that. But and if they did do it, if they got busted, they get whatever tokens they have left that goes to the burn wallet, and their wallet address is blacklisted. Cliff even tried to make a bot that would prohibit them from selling all of their positions all at once. But the thing is, you just don't know. But the reason that I'm buying into it is because I think this guy wants to build something. I think his intentions are good. And I think he had that very good intention of being part of a project, really building something with Saitama. And when they fell short, he looked elsewhere because he really wants to build something. And that's what I believe. I'm not telling you that's what you have to believe, but you are absolutely right. That could happen. He could start dumping his tokens. I personally just don't think he's going to do that. Personally, I don't know. To me, when you do that, you hurt the project. Like these pre-salers in Shibnobi, they know they're going to hurt the project, but they don't care because now they're dumping their entire position. They're going to take their money, their millions of dollars, and they're going to run. They don't care about Shibnobi. They don't care. They want their money and they want to be gone. They want to take that money and put it into something else now where they can continue to make additional millions. So they don't care. I don't think Dr. Pravin wants to hurt this project. He said on the AMA that he's going to be in it for a minimum of 7 years. So we'll have to see. And hey, listen, if there's a time and chance for me to take some profits, I will. I'm not saying I have my eyes wide open. I understand that that's definitely a possibility, and it's a concern. I don't know if you watched my video earlier today, but I went through all of that, that anybody that holds X amount of any one token or stock or position, they control it, and you just have no control over what they do with their positions. But I just don't think that will be the case. The dream says, oh, your comment just popped up. Hold on. Saitama, the best ever. Terra is a copy of Saitama, the Dream 5. Okay, and you're totally entitled to your beliefs. If that's what you believe, that's fine. Everyone gets to have their opinion. This is America. We're free here. Everybody's got a freedom of speech, and if that's what you believe, that's fine. But when I looked at the website and I looked through the white papers, it's different because this is a centralized exchange. So it's more like a bank. It's a little different. Plus, they're going to have, you can stake. You'll be able to basically short things, and obviously buy and sell. They're going to have a complete NFT platform. You'll be able to have a debit card attached to it that you can either fund with either crypto or fiat. So it's a little different. And who knows? Maybe Saint will get there eventually. I don't know, but wouldn't it be a thing if Terra beat them to it? How crazy is that? That's in my other video, I said that the reason I think Saitama Wolfpack hates Shibnobi so much is because what if Shibnobi beats Saitama to the finish line with number one, the Doja swap? What if they beat them with the Katana wallet? And what if they beat them with their blockchain? What if Shibnobi does all of that first? We were all confident in thinking it was going to be Saitama. Saitama was the only, besides Shiba Inu, obviously. We all thought it was going to be Saitama. We were all confident that Saitama was the big dog, the first there. He's going to be the first there and the first to finish. Everyone is going to have to, live up to Saitama. Everyone else is just going to live in the shadow of Saitama because they're going to build this amazing thing and we're going to get there first. That's what I thought. But now with, them falling short of a lot of stuff has gone on wrong with Saitama. And instead of people living in the shadow of Saitama, now they're starting to pass up Saitama, passing them up. And, what if they beat them to the finish line? Just something to think of. Bob Bobby Crypto Granny. says, "Hello. Would you be a guest on my crypto channel?" Sure. Send me an email and we can work, or a Twitter. At me, Tammy Ski is my Twitter, and we can definitely put something together. I'm taking by your name that you're also into crypto. Crypto Granny, Bob Bobby. Good morning, beautiful blonde. Are you the guy that keeps calling me a blonde? Have you called me a blonde before? Because I'm not. I'm technically a brunette, but maybe with the light, my hair looks blonde. I don't know. Shinja Tier 1 exchange listing will be KuCoin. Is that NZ? Is that definite for sure? Or is that something that you're just thinking? Because initially we thought KuCoin a couple of weeks ago. I know they were talking about, when Cliff kind of hinted, he's like, an exchange that starts with a K and ends with an N. And everyone was like, Kraken. And he's like, no, oh, I forgot that there's another one, KuCoin. But, so is that something that they just released, or you're just saying that it's gonna be KuCoin? Or you're hoping that it's going to be KuCoin? Because I'm hoping it's gonna be KuCoin. I'm definitely hoping it's gonna be KuCoin. Although I don't know, because they said they were supposed to be launched on, was it L Bank? I think it was Gate. They were supposed to be launched on Gate.io, I believe on Valentine's Day, and that didn't happen. So until things are definitely released, I get, because Saitama, being a Saitama investor is almost like being in an abusive relationship, like a battered woman. Now my trust is broken down, I'm leery of people. I don't believe what they say all the time. If you say one thing to me and that doesn't happen, but at least I will say this about Cliff. He did say well in advance, you know what, that's not going to happen for whatever reason. We're not actually going to be launched on that particular day, but we have other things in the works. So at least that did happen. But yeah, I'm like an abused spouse when it comes to Saitama. My trust very low, very low. People on Reddit are saying Saitama was a template. I believe that's only due to the Seda Realty presentation. Okay, so what they're talking about with the template is that it was actually released on my friend Rodney's channel that the structure of Seda Mask was supposedly done by someone else. Like the actual framework was done by someone else, and Max and his team made alterations and did whatever they had to do to make it into Seda Mask. And, whatever the rumor is, the guy apparently left a back door in there. And like I said, this is just a rumor. There is no way for me to verify this. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying that this is the information that was relayed to Rodney, and that, they were trying to fix it somehow. There were other issues that were going on with it, but then they felt like they didn't pay their bill. Something happened, and there's a back door into that Seda mask, and that's been the issue all along, especially now when you hear about, these front-running bots, how they're talking about, 4%. There's somehow 4% that goes missing from not all transactions, some transactions, but they're saying that this happens with everybody too, Uniswap and I don't believe that. Do you honestly believe Uniswap is gonna leave 4% just sitting on the table? These people, they're here to make money. Like, I've seen company axe 1,000 jobs just so that they could trim 2% off their budget. Do you really think Uniswap is just gonna let 4% of any one transaction just trickle away and be like, "Oh, well," like, they're not gonna fix it? I don't believe that. So maybe it's true. I don't know. I think, like anything, you believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. There's a very small part of that story that's got to be true. Something in that story is true. And they don't want us to know what part of the story is true, but I believe something in that story is true. Something's up with Seda Mask, and I don't think maybe they even understood how to fix it. Hopefully now it is fixed, but we don't know. We won't know. I have to be a little quiet because it's almost midnight where I am. And my neighbor, the way our houses are set up, I live in a condo. Her head is, like, literally right there. Like, her bedroom wall adjoins my office wall, and her head is right there, so I don't wanna talk too loud. DS says, "So I'm new to launches. How does it work? Like, at the moment of 6:30 AM Eastern strikes, the Terrarium token will just appear on Uniswap." Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly how it happens. If you've never been involved with a wallet purchase before, I did a video for Project Phoenix where I purchased in to their token and I taped the whole thing. I videoed the whole thing with an overhead camera because sometimes people, when they do tutorials, they use screen records. I can't follow that. It's hard for me to follow a screen recording. So I did an overhead camera shot. This way you can see exactly what I'm hitting, when I'm hitting it, what your screen is going to look like. It's very easy to follow. It's one of my Project Phoenix videos. I think the title of it is it's official, I'm a fiend, because that's when I bought in. But yep, make sure that you get the contract address from their Twitter. Don't just type in Terra into the browser. Don't do that where it says, what token you looking to buy? Don't just type in Terra. Make sure that you get the correct contract address because look what happened with the Lily Finance token. There was like a dozen bum Lily Finances that were all set up and they honeypotted all of those people's money. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars that were stolen from people. People are gross. I have Shiba for fun. I think we all have Shiba for fun. I think unfortunately I probably own a little too much Shiba for fun. Just because for me, it was the sense of community and it was the sense of, "Oh, it's dipping again. Let me buy the dip. Let me" I was helpful with pushing the Shiba army on Webull is strong, and we kept pushing it up and up and up until the time that it hit 8, and then it came crashing down, but I'm still in it. I've never sold not a single token of my Shiba. I'm hanging on because who knows what's gonna happen when Shibarium finally launches. I know that they said they're, like, thinking, like, April, May, some point this year, Shibarium should be live, and there we go. That's their own it's not technically going to be their own blockchain. I think it's going to be second layer from Ethereum. Brent is saying, "Use 49.6% slippage on launches." Brent, how many launches have you been a part of? That's what everybody's saying. Like, with the Lily, they were suggesting to people to use 50% for slippage. Yes, Bobby. Yes, Bobby Crypto Granny. Can I have you as a guest on my channel? Sure. Send me an email or send me a Twitter, and then we can, you know, make a whatever, a little get together, a little live together, or video, or however you want to do it. Thank you, Tammy. You're welcome, DS. Those are my brother's initials, DS. I love him. AGOT0318 Del Mundo, glad to find your channel. Glad to have you at my channel. I appreciate all of you guys so very much. So Brent has been involved in 6 launches. So, you know, he's not a rookie. He's a seasoned launcher, and he's telling you to set your slippage at 49, what was it, 49.6? I would take him up on that, you know, if you definitely want to get in. It's unfortunately true that, sometimes those gears, they need a little lubrication, gotta grease them up a little bit, and, that 49.6 is gonna look more enticing than somebody who's just throwing in the 20, so, yeah, I guess I have to. Juan Teyaki says, "How rich are you?" Not at all. I'm not rich at all. Not at all. But I don't live never mind. That's something that the wolf pack said about me, I mean, they've accused me of so much stuff. It's crazy. First of all, they said that I'm transgender. I wouldn't deny it because I don't think that there's anything wrong with being transgender. So I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I wouldn't do that. So I just remain silent. Every time they attack me, I just remain silent because I don't, I'm not petty. They could say whatever they want to say about me. It doesn't bother me. Then they said I was a witch. Then they said I live in a trailer. Then they said I'm a heroin addict. But my thing is this, okay? If if you think that I'm a man and that I'm a witch, technically, wouldn't that make me a warlock? I'm just saying. I'm a technical person, I like everything in its place, and I like everything to be accurate, so, technically, they should call me a warlock, I'm just saying. Okay, I think this Bobby person might be a bot, because, like, the 10th time that she said that. "You always neglect me." Who said this? Dr. Palab Debarma. "I don't mean to neglect you. It's just I don't have my glasses on, and it's hard for me to see all the comments, but I do appreciate you being here. Thank you very much." Yes, Michelle, they think I'm right? Shouldn't that be a warlock? If I'm a witch and I'm a man, that's a warlock, people, come on, be accurate. Yes, Slim Cat, that's definitely true. People will always find reasons to hate other people and just be nasty and mean, but I think in the end, it's because of how they feel about themselves. They just have very low self-esteem, and they wanna drag other people down as low as they feel about themselves, and that's why I never respond. When they say all this ridiculous stuff about me, I don't respond because it really it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not on Twitter fighting back with them saying, "That's not true," I don't do this or that or it I don't care. Pretty Mayang Lifestyle says she's from the Philippines and she is watching in Hong Kong. Awesome. Simran says he's from India. Hello. Dion954. That community is very toxic, especially in Twitter spaces. Here's a great Oh, Juan, thank you. Juan says he thinks I look like Melania Trump. I appreciate that because there's a lot of people that would disagree with you. So any little compliment like that, I appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, which is sad because tonight I always get kicked out of the Saitama rooms, always. And tonight they were having a discussion about NFTs. And I wanted to join in and listen to what they were saying about NFTs because the more you know, the more you learn and the more I can speak on, certain things to let you guys know things. So I wanted to jump on their live tonight on Twitter just to hear what they were saying about NFTs and they booted me out of that. Like, they weren't even talking about Saitama. They were talking about NFTs, and they disliked me so much that they booted me out of the room. Can somebody please tell me why? It's just so small and so petty is what it is. My name is Tammy, and I'm from New Jersey. Does it Hey, it says it on the screen. Come on now. Tammy, Crypto Queen. It's practically a cheat sheet. I'm from New Jersey. I always feel like my accent shines through whenever I'm doing the video, so I try to dial it down as much as I possibly can. But sometimes, it just pops on out and I say, "Hey, grab me a cup of coffee." So, you know what? It is almost about midnight, and I think I've been on for I don't know exactly how long, but it's been at least a half an hour, and I don't wanna be too rude to my neighbor. So I just wanna sign off here, but I just wanted to come on live to let everyone know again, I will repeat, the Terra launch is tomorrow, February 21st at 6:30 AM Eastern Standard Time. Set your alarm. You don't wanna miss out. You wanna be a part of it, but not financial advice. I'm just saying I don't wanna miss out. I wanna be a part of it, and make sure that if you too want to be a part of it, we've heard some good advice tonight saying for you to set your slippage at 49.6%, but no matter what, if you take anything away from this live stream besides the corrected launch time, it should be that you need to get the contract address directly from their Twitter and from no other source. Don't rely on anyone's tweets. Don't rely on anything that you see on the internet or on Telegram. Get it direct from the source. It is posted right there, right now on their Twitter. So go on and grab the right one. And that is going to do it here. Oh, my camera. You know what? That's the second time it went out. So that means that it goes out every 25 minutes because it's a Canon camera. And so that means I've been like live almost an hour. I definitely gotta go. I gotta get some sleep. I appreciate you guys so much for popping in and joining me for this impromptu live. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a really great night. Take care of yourselves. Thank you, everyone who is joining me from all around the world. Someone just popped in from Australia. And I will see you next time when I see you. Oh, this coming week, I'm having a few different AMAs with some different devs. The 2 tokens that I'm doing this week with AMAs, they're both charity tokens. You know, of course, there's always money to be made, but mostly it's just for charity. And actually, one of them is not a token, it's an NFT project. And that's gonna do it here for me today. I thank you so very much for joining me, and until next time, remember, red candle, and please take care of yourself. And if you guys do buy in, put tweets out there, you know? Tag me in your tweet, and I'll follow you because I wanna know who got into the launch. Alright, guys, take care.